Hello, lovely humans, and welcome to Helping Humans. I'm your host, Misty J. Zanger, and this is my podcast. If you're listening, cool. If you're watching and listening, even cooler. I hope you enjoy it, and it's meant for people who want to help themselves and others. If that's you, keep on listening. And if it's not, there are other people out there, and that's fantastic too. So, buckle up. It's going to be an interesting ride full of all sorts of different conversations, topics, questions, answers. I hope there's a little bit of something here for everyone. That's the goal. And happy listening. What can I say about helping humans? The idea came to me, I have no idea, in probably at least early 2024 sometime. And it pairs with a local podcast I'm doing in my community that is called Helping Hatters. And I kind of blew it into a bigger international scene where it's just helping humans. But it's not helping humans. I have found a word that can maybe apply to everyone a little bit more universally. And the word human, Humin, is actually a Greek word found in the Bible. And it means you. Y-O-U. So, in essence, this podcast, Helping Humans, is meant to help you. If you're willing and want to receive and are looking for maybe somebody with some ideas or some strategies, tips, and tricks on how to human a little better and be your best self, that's the goal that I am trying to achieve here. And if you're in, follow along, like, subscribe, do your thing. And yeah, I'm Misty Zanger, and I come from rural prairie roots in Canada, and it's been a little bit of a change up for me to come and decide that public school educator wasn't exactly the hat I was meant to wear for the rest of my days. It's taken me a while to digest that change. Not an easy, as it were, pill to swallow. Because that was the plan. I worked really hard to get into teaching. I subbed for over 5 years in various capacities at various levels of public education. Kind of had a little taste of everything. And finally ended up in high school. Loved it. And they loved me. And there was so much beauty there. And I really grew into an even better version than I could have ever imagined for myself. And then the wheels started to fall off, and overwhelm, and realizing that I couldn't do all the things that I wanted to do. So there was a little bit of a lack of freedom. And just accumulations of events, and over time, burnt out. And if you've ever burnt out, like legit burnt yourself right out, you're a shell of a human. You're just surviving. Bare minimum, basic survival mode. But your mind still thinks you should be able to do it all. And I think that's part of the way the system designs your motivation and kind of guilt trips you into doing and gaslights you into thinking that, you are a superhero, you're a public educator, you can do anything. And that's, I'm telling you now, it's not a fact. It's not the way you should live your life. And I had to learn the hard way. Eventually, I had to make the hard decision. I couldn't help myself there I was stuck in it. I had to say, I'm done. I can't imagine going back. I've played around with that idea over and over again and batted that ball around till I've just become dizzy. But it's just not the path forward. I heard a quote, I can't remember from who, but about burnout, and that you can't go back to the place that you burnt out at. You can't go back to that place and expect things to be any different. And I believe that to be true. So if you're in a journey and you have had some struggles and you're facing the overwhelm and uncertainty and just exhaustion of it all, I'm hopeful that you can join me as we explore all sorts of different avenues and areas, from my favorite helpful scheduling tools and organizing your life, which does make anxiety at least lessen if you can be a good organizer, and my favorite apps to help you with your life and sorting things out and keeping you on the ball and keeping you mentally well and stable to heal your soul kind of things. I also really love media, movies, TV series, documentaries, music, books in all forms, paper, digital, and especially audio. All that I would love to share with you what some of my favorite nuggets of learning from those are, and how maybe viewing, listening, or consuming some sort of media might be actually a resource for you and help you to help yourself. Tap into what you know. Are you doing the things that you know are good for you? That's what I've learned in the last year. Probably wasn't doing as much things that were good for me as just instead doing what I thought others wanted, and naively thought that they would have my best interests at heart, and realizing that nobody can do that for you but you. So it might not go with the norms or the status quo, but you have to decide what your path looks like. And I walk my dog all the time, especially in the snow, and realize how uncomfortable it is to actually walk on a path that is already trodden by people and compacted down and already formed to their feet. I actually prefer to walk in the fresh snow and pave my own path, or maybe step where I've already stepped. But very often I find myself going away from the path that people have already walked, walking beside them, or just veering off in my own direction into the fresh snow where I can do whatever I want. I could doodle. I think I drew a heart the other day with my feet. Do what you want. And that's what matters most. Doing what's best for you without negative repercussions to others should be the ultimate goal. And can you always prevent that? No. But you need to keep your yard clean and taken care of. And the rest, maybe that's your neighbor's problem or your coworker's problem or whatever. There's just a need for grounding into your own. And I think that takes some time, patience, true care to explore various avenues, teachers, paths that others have taken, and what little bites can you take in for yourself to be like, yeah, that could work for me. Maybe just make a few adjustments. Because you really have to tailor it to you specifically. And that's why there is no real full guidebook on how to do the humaning, because we're all different. There's over 8 billion people living on planet Earth right now. It's a lot of different ways of knowing, experiences, family lineage and their history in so many capacities. So there's a lot going on, needless to say. You got some stuff. You got some stuff you didn't ask for. But like, I'm telling you, here's the good news. You get to decide. You want to change it? You can. One of the people I came into contact over the last year with was a doctor. And they said something very profound to me that I will never forget. And I hope to instill this upon you. Learned helplessness is the biggest issue facing people. So I was not like, oh, you're a special case, da da da. No, he's just like, you know what? You're like a lot of other people. Got some learned helplessness you're working through. But I'm here to tell you, you can change that. And I was like, well, isn't that a nugget that for some reason I don't feel the power in myself to say, yeah, I can change my circumstances. I can work through this. I can adapt. I can change my habits or outlook or learn something new or go in and explore avenues I've never thought about as an educator. So interesting. Keep that tucked away, that you are the boss of you and you have the power to decide and change your momentum in your life, which can be a blessing and a curse because that means it is up to you. So this is my maybe extend an olive branch of support and lean into some resources and some community that can care for you in a way that allows you to actually care for yourself. And the rest we'll figure out. And I think you're gonna learn a few things. That's the goal. I think in anything you partake in, you should probably find some nuggets of learning. Maybe it's sometimes what not to do, what I like, what I don't like, what just lands that makes sense for you. And I might share something and you're like, no, I don't think so. Cool. Maybe you're like, wow, that was the best tip I've ever had. Thank you so much. That's cool too. And just knowing that I'm just here to share because that's what I feel called to do. I haven't been able to shake the wanting to have this Helping Humans podcast go over the last 10 months. And today's the day. We'll mark it as recorded on December 4th, which is a Wednesday here in the year 2024. And I've been thinking about this podcast relentlessly for so long. And I have some notes on my board and how I want it, you know, the dream idea of it, some segment pieces for you. Most brought by the alliteration of letters. And I'm excited to explore what I have in mind already, but also what's in store for the future and kind of rolling with the punches, if you will, and embracing what people bring to me as questions, as insights, areas where we can explore some more and see where it goes. But we have to start somewhere. And a course I'm taking right now is really encouraging. Okay, take care of you. That's number one. Take care of you. Number two, the rest will figure itself out. But you have to have a healthy foundation and the energy to work with your space and time to do the rest. And I'm finally feeling like rolling into 2025, that there's definitely the space for me to grow into a new realm of sharing and educating and learning. This is all just a little cycle. Learn, relearn, grow, change, and repeat. So that's what I know. And it's probably going to be all sorts of things. I can't specify anything because Helping Humans is everything from financial tips and tricks to relationships, platonic, friends, to partnerships, what marriage is meaning for people. And you all have your own different takes on that too. But sometimes it's nice to hear from someone who's maybe been down that road or has learned a few things from others even that I'd like to pass on. So that's what I'm going to have to say this whole podcast is about. And I'm looking forward to sharing this journey with you, and I appreciate you all and love the heck out of you. Even if I don't know you, there's love in me to share with you, and I just want you to own your little light inside and stoke your little fire of passion to discover your purpose and see where it flows from there. Again, you want to do your best self in the capacity of trying to minimize your negative impacts on others. So if you don't like what I'm talking about, don't like the sound of my voice, you hate the title, whatever it is that's triggering you of a dislike, if you can't get over it, then it was nice hanging out with you for a little bit of time, and it's okay to move on. There's so many good podcasts out there. There's so many opportunities for learning in so many avenues. So I don't have to be your cup of tea. You don't have to drinketh from my cup. That is okay with me. I don't need the haterade. I'm just here to spread a little joy. And as a recently certified happiness life coach, maybe give you a few tips and tricks again. How can you improve your life even just 1%? And then maybe that's all you need right now. Maybe that's it. But some of you have been maybe down some dark spaces and places that you didn't think you can climb out of, especially by yourself. And I know that feeling all too well. And it's come back at me a few times in the last 12 months. And it's a hard road to travel on your own. Yes, you have to do the work. But people are here. There's lots of helpers. So many people with the capacity to share what they know and how they can help you help yourself. So, with that being said, stay tuned for more from me, Misty J, to you all. I hope you have a blessed day and happy helping all the humans, near and far. And the pets. Don't forget your pets and plants. As a pet and plant parent, I got to advocate for them too, because their happiness and well-being is tied to you. So if you got some dead plants around or something just like isn't so great in the plant pet parent front, we got to do some attending. So, and also make sure you clean your bathroom. I've noticed if I'm feeling a little icky looking at my bathroom, I'm like, because it needs a clean. which needs them cleaned more often than you want to have to clean a bathroom, but it's essential. So look at your bathroom, look in your toilet bowl, look in the bottom of your sink. Is that reflecting who you are and how you feel? That's my little nugget for you to sit with and think about until next time. Be well. Thank you so much, lovely human, for listening to the Helping Humans podcast, which is created, hosted, and produced by Misty J. Zanger and is a Mystified Productions podcast.